welcome to the Now Community hour number 3. Today we have a full agenda because we have a lot of things to share with you. So 3 new features. The first one is the Now agent in WhatsApp, so that you can ask analytics questions directly through your WhatsApp. Then is the how to thread a chart, like a chart and a story, so be able to ask question on a chat or a story that someone shared with you. And then the third one is how to make a story live. So for now, the stories were much like static, so the numbers were not moving, and you needed to like refresh them manually, and now you can make them live. And we have 2 announcements at the end, so yeah, stay until the end. And of course, we'll do Q&A, and we can actually like take questions as we do the demos. So yeah, you can ask questions on the chat as usual, and we'll answer them as we go. So yeah.
Yeah, and also before we jump in, like this week we did our first meetup. So it's like the community hour. So it was like a super good meetup in Paris, and we plan to do way more in every places in the world.
Maybe not every place.
Yeah, we can say every places.
Yeah, but it was very interesting. We talked with a lot of data teams who set up some analytics agents, and yeah, there was a lot of discussion of how to set up the right context and how to roll out to business users and not get stuck in the POC. So that was really interesting. I think people learned a lot from the event. So if you are in any like European city or American city, like we can make this happen. Cool. So for the demo, I'm going to share a phone screen actually, because this is all going to happen on WhatsApp. And I hope I'm not going to get any weird notification during the demo. Okay. Can you also make me? Yeah,
yes.
That's working. Okay, so the goal here is usually like the C-level in your company, they used to use WhatsApp. They would love to have their questions answered on WhatsApp, and it would be great if they were not like WhatsApping you, but WhatsApping a bot instead. So what we did is that now you can ask the same question you would ask in Now interface directly in WhatsApp. So what I'm going to start, because I've already been chatting with Now a bit, is just like starting a new conversation through the WhatsApp bot. So here I'm just like saying, okay, let's start a new chat. And actually, I'm like a C-level. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll keep going. And someone just like sent me a chart, and I'm a bit like confused about the data. So I just like say, is this correct? And it's like a chart about like how many stars you have on GitHub. So basically, like just sending a screenshot and then asking the bot what it thinks about the data. And here it's going to do like the same loop that you will have on the UI. So like just like taking a look at the data and more than 800 stars. Taking a look at the data and like running a bunch of queries to answer. This might take some time. Okay. So almost all correct. I think there was like a freshness issue, like the screenshot might be a bit like outdated now. But you can see here, it took all the numbers from the image and actually ran a bunch of queries like it would do in the UI, and then give a full report. And then I want to ask follow-up question. So I'll just like use the like mic to do that. Can you tell me what's our weekly growth on GitHub stars? Yeah, just talking to the agent on WhatsApp, my new friend. So this time it's like, you can see it's writing something. And yeah, basically it's going to execute the analysis behind. Small suspense.
This is always the thing with like LLMs.
Okay, so it tells me, okay, there was a peak. Okay, whatever. Okay, and then you can also send me chart directly to WhatsApp. And then let's say, okay, now I want to have a recap. So I'll be like, okay, create a story on this. and send me the link. So if I want to have a recap that I can actually visualize that is more complete than just like a WhatsApp discussion, we do already have this story feature on the UI. And the goal is that you can generate a story just from a WhatsApp message, and it's going to send you a link to your existing UI.
Oh, he hallucinated a bit because like the stories link is not this one.
Okay, we have a issue. Okay, zero issue. Let's find it ourselves. Wait.
Actually, it's like
yeah. Okay.
he added like stories at the end of the URL, but it should not be like stories.
Okay. Well, this is fresh feature, so
small hallucination.
Okay, so here I have access to my story, and I can visualize it directly on my mobile. And yeah, I'm going to share to Christophe. This way, it's going to to show the other features. But yeah, I think that's what we wanted to show on the WhatsApp. I think it's like basically C-levels can now talk to. I didn't accept the people. Basically, yeah, the C-level can actually talk to their WhatsApp as they would with a data analyst, and we hope they don't text you like that. But basically, that's the goal. And yeah,
I think the thing with WhatsApp is we did it on WhatsApp, and we feel that this is super natural to use WhatsApp to chat with the agent. Like you see, you can send audio, you can send pictures. It's like something that we are used to use to do communication with stuff. In a lot of companies, WhatsApp is not like the preferred mean like to chat with the data. But actually, the thing that we can do in WhatsApp, we can also do it like in Slack. We can do it in Teams. We can do it in every like communication mean that you have at the company. And we think that this is how we will go like to the agentic workflow, and we will add more capabilities to the agent. This is stuff that we already said. But for instance, this is not a feature that we have at the moment, but this is in the closed roadmap where you will be able to ask the agents to run an analysis like this and send an email or send a recap every Monday after you have done the analysis in WhatsApp, or send like a message in WhatsApp every morning with a recap or stuff like this, like doing like trigger workflow at the end of some kind of chat actually. So yeah.
And Clara, your message, we already have a Slack bot. So you can already use now as a Slack bot. We have like Slack bot, Teams bot, Telegram, WhatsApp. That's already a lot of places.
And in Slack, you can really do like the same. I think the only feature that you don't have yet in Slack is sending like voice notes, like we did in WhatsApp, because in WhatsApp it's a bit more direct, but we can do it also like in Slack. So yeah.
And also, I think the value behind all that is, so here I sent my messages through WhatsApp, but I can still see my conversation in the UI. You just can see like, okay, it was sent through WhatsApp. But this way, like even if you have different UIs and different ways to access the same agent, the conversation still stays in the same place, and it's not like saved in the different UIs. So at least you have one source of truth for the context and the conversation that you had in one place.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we do this is, in order for it to be adopted at the company, you need to meet the user where they are. And in the company, like some users will be on Slack, and they're like the most, I would say, advanced, but some people prefer being on WhatsApp, being on email, being on a web UI. And so what we did, like in the architecture, we have like an agent that runs in the backend, and we can have like multiple front end to use it. And that's the vision. Like we want to give you a tool that meets where your users are and where your stakeholders are actually.
It's basically OpenClaw for data.
Yeah, exactly.
With more safety.
Way more.
Yeah. We started the demo when everyone was not here, so maybe just like to do a small recap, like what we were showing is that you can send a message to Now through WhatsApp. So just like send message, images, like voice messages, and this will do some analysis, same as it would in Now UI. So maybe before we go to the next feature, do you have any questions or like feedbacks on this, or some new things or new UI you would like to see? Let us know if you have questions on that. Okay, yeah, you go. This was for you. I hope you enjoyed the demo, but it's ready.
Yeah, it's really nice, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, we know you were waiting for this.
And also like on this, like because the project is open source, we have like a different system prompt for the WhatsApp bots than for Slack, than for Now UI, because also in WhatsApp, you don't want to send the same thing as in the UI. Like in the UI, you want like a full explanation of what it did. But on WhatsApp, like you want something that is more compact and more straightforward, because you don't want like a long answer and stuff like this. So you can also have a look in the repo at the system prompt that we use for this. Also, I think the vision would be for you to be able to modify the system prompt. So you have also the full control on how you want the thing to be like formatted on WhatsApp. This is not yet ready, but this is something that we can fairly easily add if you want something that is very specific in terms of formatting for the WhatsApp answers or Slack answers. That's the same, actually.
Yeah.
Super cool. Okay.
Do you want to share the?
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen now. So I'm gonna share my screen. Take this. Should I share my entire screen? Nope, I don't think so. I will. Oh, I will share my entire screen actually.
Yes, Clara, we will send you the record.
Oh yeah. So I guess you see my screen. Yes, yeah. Perfect. So now I'm on the instance that Claire used to chat on WhatsApp. So I think you shared with me a story, I guess. Mm-hmm. So here, if I go like in the stories page, group by ownership, I see that a story has been shared today, GitHub Start dashboard, and I can click on this. And this is the story that Claire just shared, and I can have access to it. And the new thing that we added just this week on the stories is we can do a follow-up on a story that has been shared to us. So for instance, here there is like 817, and I can say, oh, what this number is, and I can say where this comes from, and I can have a chat that is embedded on top of a story. And here it explains, oh, 817 comes from, oh, max cumulative search from this table, blah, 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 blah. So you can start a new conversation here, and this conversation can be, then will be saved here in the UI. And so it's like a bit of a commentary or a comment, like you have a docs, and you can start a new chat here if you want, etc. So this is like a new feature that we just added to create more interactivity on top of stories or chats that has been shared to you. So for instance, here, Claire shared with me a chat. So here I have my chat, and I have also like the chat that have been shared to me. So Claire sent another conversation just earlier this day, and she shared with me this chat. And I can also do the ask on the chat that has been shared to me and have like the same UI. But I can also, instead of just asking like a quick question, I can also continue a chat. And here, if I continue a chat, we can see that this chat has been threaded from the one from Claire, and I can do a follow-up. And for instance, I can do this follow-up and add week-on-week growth data to the story. And here, now we continue the story that has been just created. And there is something that has been added to to the story. So we add more interactivity, and the story becomes like the core of Nao, where you have conversation, and the output to share at the end of the conversation is the story, and the story is the core of Nao, where people will interact, ask questions, thread, etc., etc. And the new cool thing that we added on the stories is the live here. Now we can create a story and make it live. So I will do a small demo on a small subset just to show you and explain it quick. So I can say, give me the number of issues that we have. It should say something around 60, I think, 65, I guess, something like this. Oh, yes, 68 at the moment. And I can say, okay, cool, create a story with these numbers. So it will create a story. I want a super simple story. Okay, cool. Oh, we'll do a chart. Does it do a chart? No, it didn't do. Okay. And it tried, but I don't know what it did. But here, for instance, I can just to show you something, I can say this data has been refreshed on March 15, something like this. I can save this, and here I have a version where the data is said to be refreshed on March 15, and I can enable the live mode on the story. So I say, okay, I want this story to be live. I want the refresh schedule of the story to be either manual, either no cache. So each time I arrive on the story, it will refresh, or I want some kind of fixed schedule, so every 5 minutes, every hour, etc., or a custom schedule where I can say every Monday and Tuesday at noon, for instance, and I say it in English, and it will convert it to a cron expression that I can use to refresh the story. But here I will just use like manual refresh only, and there is like another Boolean where we can activate the regenerate the narrative. So the narrative is all the text that is in the story, because in the stories you have numbers, so the charts, the tables, and stuff like this. But there is also all the narrative, which is the text. And here I can say regenerate the narrative. So I save this, so the story will move to live. So here it will update in the UI when the live has been set up. So now the live has been set up. And if I hit refresh, just to show it to you here, it should move from March 15 to April 2nd. Let's try and hope that it works. Okay, it works. And yeah, that's what it is for the live story. So the goal of the live story is that you can have stories that refresh the data and also the narrative that it has. You can also have a look at the prompt that we use to refresh the story. And the way the prompt has been structured is keep the template, keep the text that we have been written, and just update the stuff that should be updated. So any analysis that is related to a number, any stuff that is related to a date, and yeah, that's mainly what it is. And if I just show it also to you, if I go in no cache, for instance, here, when I go in no cache, each time I refresh, oh, not each time I refresh, but each time I go on the page of the story, it will download directly like the data. So it will query the database. That's just to show it to you. Yeah, I think that's what we wanted to show today. So we worked a lot around the stories, the interactivity of the stories, the continued conversation around the stories.
Yeah, I think the goal with the live stories is basically like it could replace your dashboard, because it's basically what it is, right? Like just a combination of charts with like refresh, so it can be accessible to anyone at any time. And I think what's great is that it has this in like real-time storytelling around it. So it's not going to only refresh the numbers, but also refresh the voiceover, which can be quite handy for the users. And it, yeah, if you think about it, like what dashboards had also is the ability to deep dive. And I think the thing we want to do differently now is that instead of deep diving, but like zooming in, clicking on charts or whatever, like you just thread the story and ask questions on the dashboards to generate other charts and like deep dive on specific things of the dashboard. So I think, yeah, the goal would be like, this can replace the BI tool actually, and be even more powerful in terms of deep dive.
Yeah, that's true. And like I just say for WhatsApp, the next step we're gonna work on is how do you activate this? For instance, what you want is once a story has been refreshed, you maybe want to send it by email, by a Slack bot, by a WhatsApp message to any stakeholder that should see the story. So that's the next step as well, being able to take the story either in the UI or export it as a PDF, as a static HTML report, as an email that someone can have a look at. Because like the story is super powerful, it's the output of a conversation where you have done an analysis, that you have extracted outputs that become something that is reproducible and reusable everywhere in the company. So yeah, that's the direction. I hope that you love it. On our side, like we found it like super cool.
Yeah, so I think that's what we wanted to show you today. Maybe like we'll pause here and see if you have any questions or feedbacks on what we showed, or any other like general question if you have been using now recently and have other questions.
And also like it can be also remark about like the vision, about stuff that you think we should add or do, or like just any thoughts.
Yes, maybe me. Hello. Can
Hey.
you hear me? Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Mauricio. Mauricio, directly from Paris. And yeah, here. I wanted to know, because I've been following your products, I'm pretty interested in how you propose how to build the structure of the context in order to build as guardrails to query, especially for agents. That I'm pretty interested on it. Not necessarily in everything. I understand you are also trying to compete with I don't know, BI solutions and to get to the final user. And I'm kind of in the analytics engineering part where we want to start building our semantic layer. Is it for you, because I haven't yet get into the detail of your open source solution, but do you believe it is okay and it makes sense to start, for example, copying the structure of that you use? Is it I don't know, for the context engineering part, does it make sense? And are you going also into that direction, like improving and getting features into that part, or you kind of will be in this stage like prioritizing the final product part, well, like the stories, like visualization, etc.? I know. So
Yeah. So actually there are two core things in the Now product. We showed the UI, but the first one is the context layer. And maybe to show you how we build the context layer, it's actually built like a file system. And one new thing we actually released is that now in the admin panel, you can see, explore your context that you built in the UI. And so I can send you some videos of this, but the way it works is the first step is you set up your context as a file system. So basically you define which context you put in it. Do you put some databases with tables? Do you put your repository of like dbt or semantic layer? Do you add some MD files that will give some context to the agent? So this is a very core thing to how Now is built, because the goal is that you as a data team define the guardrails of your agent with this file system. So you can see, for example, here on the database, we pull all the tables, and then we're going to create MD files that describe the table, the previews, etc. So we pull as much context as we can, and then you're free to add any context as you want. Since it's a file system, you can like basically add whatever you want in it. And I think to answer a bit your question of like, how should you build your context? I don't think you should necessarily go to semantic layer from the start. I think here our recommendation would be more like, okay, just like start with a small scope of, for example, a domain where data is clean and you have a clear use case of requests. Maybe try to put 10 tables in the agent, just with what you have, like the metadata, maybe some documentation, and see how it behaves in the agent. And from there, just like increment the documentation, the rules, the MD files. And if you really think you need to build a semantic layer, then you can build it. But maybe that's not the first step to go for. Otherwise, like it's going to take a lot of time before you can actually, try an agent.
Pretty clear. Thank you. And just to make the most of my time asking, also, I guess you wouldn't recommend, if you say I should reduce the scope into the most consolidated sources. I was wondering, in your experience, if it makes sense to pull as much context as possible, because we have many sources. So we have Postgres enriched context with a lot of constraints and links between tables that we actually cannot use right now because we migrate or we ingest everything into Snowflake, and we have everything over there in our DBT project. So I wanted to have like as much context as possible in my file structure. But maybe that's not the way in your experience. You're saying to me that maybe it's better to start small and then get bigger and bigger, like without sacrificing accuracy, I guess. But I don't know if the other way has worked for you. I don't know.
I think it's good to start small in terms of scope, just because like if you, let's say, give your agent the whole data warehouse, like you're not going to be able to ensure that it's reliable on the whole data warehouse, but then you might put it in the hands of users who will find some issues, and that will like diminish the trust in your agent. So I think that's why it's better to first do a POC on one domain, make sure that it works well, and then like enrich with other domains. But that doesn't mean that you cannot put as much context as you can on this specific domain. But yeah, I just like recommend to go scope by scope, let's say.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the insights.
Okay, well, maybe on the last things we wanted to share. Okay, so the first thing we wanted to announce is that this is meant to be a community hour. So the goal is not only for us to share things, but for you to share things. So if you have built something cool with Now, or if you have learned something about how to do context engineering, or use case that people have done thanks to Now in your company or in your data team, that would be cool for you to present it to the community. So if you have in mind something you want to share, please reach out on the Slack or by email. And we'd love to have someone present in the next live, which is in 2 weeks. So yeah, that would be very nice to see what you're doing with Now. And then second thing we wanted to announce is that we are going to launch a Now hackathon format. And the reason for that is that we see that data teams sometimes like lack time and guidance to start working on agentic analytics. And we want to do like a sprint, like very short sprints, because we believe that in just like 4 hours, you can already have a use case like running on Now. So the format is 4 hours with Christophe and I, and the objective is to set up one now on one use case by setting up the context, setting up the UI, bots if you want to have bots, and also like some basic testing and monitoring of the agent. We can do that remotely. We can do that on site if it's in Paris or like not too far from Paris. And the goal is to have a fixed package, $2,500, 2,000 euros for this 4 hours. And yeah, goal is to get you started very quickly with all the insights we had on working with teams setting this up, and also like us working on agents. So same, if you're interested, like feel free to reach out. If you think we should like accommodate a bit like the offer, we can also discuss, but we think that's a good format to start.
Because what we also think is a lot of people are stuck in the current situation with a lot of tools that exist, a lot of possibilities and stuff like this, and we think that you should start like somewhere and being unstuck. And this is something that we are trying to do, is like helping people getting unstuck with our experience to start somewhere, because once you have started, it's like crazy how far you can go. But actually this is true, like when you have something that is working, it's like a whole new world, and instead of being stuck out of the party, I guess it's like a step that helps you getting in the party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, please reach out on that. We'll do more communication, but we're starting now. And yeah, we keep on having more events. End of April, we're doing a meetup with Lightdash in London. So 30 of April. Yeah, in 2 weeks, we have the next community hour. I forgot this one. Then London, and we should be in Berlin for a meetup with data engineering community in 18th of June. And yeah, as we said, like if you want to organize in other cities, we'd love to come and have a meetup. I think the Paris meetup was a real success. We had like 100 people. So yeah, we'd love to do more events if you're open.
Cool.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So let us know if you have final questions, maybe. Thanks for being so loyal to all this
Yeah.
live community hours.
Any question in the chat?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Do you already have a date for the hackathon, or not yet?
So the hackathon is more, it's like a private hackathon. Like
All
we
right.
just do that with you. So it's like we schedule it with you when you want.
Okay, let's see. Like, what do you mean private? Is like we set a date and everyone is doing that at the same time, or?
No, it means like we come to your company and do a hackathon with your team.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be interesting like that. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, the goal is really to do it on your data, on your use case. So that's why it's like just you and us.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for precising.
Oh, that's good to hear, Mohamed. And also a small note, like all these live community hours, we do the recording and we post them on YouTube. So if you want to go see them or you missed a part, I'll post the recording in the next days. Yes, people deserve freedom for schools. Okay, cool. Well, I think it's all for today. And yeah, feel free to join the Slack, to ask questions in the Slack, mail. We're here. So see you in 2 weeks, I guess.
And even if we are like a AI agent company, it's still humans answering the questions.
For now.
Well, thank you a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.